about like the main structure you can use in your classroom. Yeah, just the first thing. Yeah, the first tool. I'm not going to tell you anything about the history of P4C. You can read about it. Yeah, you can find information. We'll try the general plan we have. We'll try to have theory with some discussion in 35 minutes. Then we'll have practice like in 40 minutes. Yeah? And I hope that Fayang jumps in and we have more heads to discuss the question. And then I would like to have enough time for reflection, and I'll tell you about homework. You'll have homework as well. The first thing you see at the screen is like the distinction between learning and doing philosophy. I would like to, I don't have a ready-made answer for you. I would like to hear what's the difference to your mind? What do you see? If you have doubts, if there is a problem or like you don't see any difference, you can share that as well. Yeah, you can share why it's difficult to distinguish or you don't have an answer.
Can we just jump in, or do we need to like raise our hands? Or
No, you can jump in and then you can, yeah, of course you can raise your hand.
So for one of them, learning philosophy, to me, it's just the theory almost. So learning about philosophy, how do you do it, for example, and what kind of discussional techniques are there? So that's what, in my mind, would be learning about philosophy. And then doing philosophy is a bit unclear for me. I'm not sure if anyone else has a clearer vision of doing philosophy.
Well, I was thinking, I partly agree with your explanation of learning philosophy, but then again, I think learning about philosophy is in some way also doing philosophy, maybe, since you're learning about it and you're reflecting on it and you're busy with it. So isn't that also doing philosophy? I'm not sure. So just what came to mind.
For me, doing philosophy, I think, is applying your knowledge, what you learn in philosophy in the practice. That's the doing philosophy for me. But for learning, you learn philosophy and things in theory part, but doing philosophy is the practice part, and you apply your knowledge, what you learn.
Oh, I really like this answer. So yeah, when it's not only theoretical, when you know how to use something you think of, something that you reflected upon, right, Nastaran? Is that what you're speaking about?
No problem.
Yeah, do you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, so I told that that's one of the tools, yeah, and we used it when we met for the first time. So I check with the group. I can ask one of the listeners, or I can do it myself. Did I get it right? Yeah, that you speak about applying ideas and something you reflected upon in philosophy, and in your worldview, and then you do something according it.
Yeah, I think doing, yeah.
So the reflection itself, so like when you really dive into philosophy, you're not just learning any facts or like concepts, but you really think deeply about them. That was the idea by Nina. Yeah, so you deeply reflect on what you learn, yeah, not just learn the names and the dates.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not really.
Okay, so you support it and you add one more, even more practical dimension. So Carmen, does it answer your question? Do you think that that's enough to understand what doing philosophy is about?
I think it's quite a clear and broad explanation for the beginning, I guess, for
Okay.
you know the yeah.
Okay, Marcel, can I ask you to share your thought here as well?
Yes, how I look upon it is that learning philosophy is more about the substance of philosophical ideas or concepts, or learning about what Plato has thought of, or what Aristotle came up with, or what kind of approach to life existential philosophers have, for instance. So that is more learning about philosophy. That's how I look upon it. So learning what kind of philosophical concepts and ideas have emerged, also in communication with each other. So how philosophers have commented on their predecessors, so what they had thought and why they would refute their ideas, for instance, and come up with new ideas.
The history of ideas, not
The
of
history of ideas.
personality.
Bingo, that's it. Yeah, and then doing philosophy is much more a pedagogical activity, I would say. That's especially in the course of our course. I would argue that doing philosophy is a pedagogical act that in the arena of the classroom, so to speak, you can be the organizer of that, of the activity of philosophizing, and I think that the art of doing philosophy with children is that you try to be the facilitator of any philosophical talk that is happening in the classroom, and not enmesh the thinking of the children too much with your own thinking. So try to step back and try to kill the teacher in yourself, actually, and be the facilitator. So it's not about that you want to teach something. It is much more about that you would like to facilitate that children start to think for themselves.
Yeah, that's it. Marcel, have you started to record?
I have.
Really? Because I don't see the sign on my screen, and that is strange. Okay. Do you see Nina, Carmen? Do you see it
Yes,
on your
I see the recording.
Okay.
sign.
Okay.
For mine, it says recording too. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That's
Yep.
strange. Yeah, you like decentralize the classroom, and doing philosophy, that's more about the method, the approach itself, and that your own thinking and the children's thinking is in the center. Yeah, so that's about all about the process of our own thinking and arguing and questioning and wondering and applying, of course, the ideas we come up with.
Can I bring up one thing? Sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
You say it's about the thinking of the children and your own thinking too. Isn't there a potential authority problem there, that children can think that the best way to think about a certain issue is the way that the teacher thinks, because he or she is an educated adult in the room? So wouldn't it be potentially dangerous to share what you think as a teacher about a certain topic with the children? Would that not stand in the way of the learning of the children?
So it is a very good question. I would ask you, like, firstly, I would ask you to write down such kind of questions like in our chat, because if we start
Yes.
discussing all them right away, yeah, like we won't have enough time for the things
I
we
will.
prepared. Yeah, so and it's but all the questions you ask, we'll try to find like time at the end of our sessions, or I will answer personally, or like we even may have a kind general, yeah, a common place where we can answer each other as well. So I would answer shortly here that there are different approaches, and that some practitioners would say that it's like absolutely forbidden to share your own answer, to share your own idea, or yeah, on the question you were discussing, due to the reason Marcel just mentioned. And others would say that like, you are not a robot, you are not just a facilitator, you always remain a personality, a person that children trust. And it is like, it's really important. It's like human to share at least sometimes, or when they ask you to share as well, the thing that you think as well. Yeah, so some comments, something that you can share from, yeah, like our a bit adults, yeah, experience. I would, so my what I think about that, that it is possible. I do share my ideas like from time to time, and I usually ask them like, do you want me to answer too? Would you like to hear what I think as well? And if they, I see that they are really, yeah, interested, that they would like to hear and to go on, yeah, discussing this particular thing, I share and I hear what they think as well. If I see like no interest, we have to move on, or yeah, like that's not the right time, so I do not. And or like if we have really enough participants, enough ideas, I don't need to share mine at all. Yeah. Sometimes it's always when you work on logic as well, and you try them to see like different criteria, different approaches on one thing to make it as volume as possible. Yeah. Sometimes you just add, yeah, one more perspective, maybe not your personal, but just one more, in order to see all the sides. Yeah. Okay, so then like, why to practice philosophy with children? Why to do philosophy with children? Like at least one reason. Yeah, here we'll have the, I will share what I think about that. But yeah, what to your mind? I'm really interested, yeah, in your motivation. So why to practice philosophy with children?
I think for them to learn to think for themselves and to actually, yeah, onderbouwen. How do you say it in English? To
Substantiate?
To substantiate their thinking and their arguments on certain topics. Yeah.
Like make them clear and aware of the things
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
crystallize. Like, yeah, I like this word as well. Yeah. Okay.
I think maybe also to stimulate creative thinking and also critical thinking skills, of course. To, yeah, like as Carmen said as well, to make them aware of how they think and what they think and what this means.
So, okay, yeah, Nastaran?
I also wanted to say that, yeah, to help them to think critically. That's Nina said already. So.
Okay.
Could I say something?
Of course.
So everything that you've said so far, I'm trying to play advocate's devil a little bit here, can also be done through organizing critical discussions around news items, for instance. So making children substantiate their ideas, teaching them how to think critically, how to think creatively, think about solutions, for instance, about big world problems. So that does not necessarily call on philosophizing with children. So does philosophy, or does philosophizing with children have, does that have any specific characteristics that other methods do not have?
Yeah, that's absolutely the same question I wanted to ask.
Yeah. I believe that philosophy is a very internalized process. I think it's about looking from within on how you think about certain topics or issues, or and what kind of feelings emerge from that, and being able to reflect on them. And you can do that, for example, through news items, by saying, okay, so this is what happened, and why would that happen? Where does that, emerge from? I think it's a much more internalized process, I guess, than just stating. Yeah.
May I ask, are you speaking about like metacognitive skills? So I reflect upon my own thinking as well.
Yeah, I guess so. Just understanding why you think certain things.
Yeah, and that's about like epistemology and theory of knowledge, but your personal, yeah, theory of knowledge. Yeah, yeah, it is. It goes in as well. So Nina or Nastaran, do you have anything here to add? Like, do you see anything, like suppose anything specific? Okay, so we will speak about critical and creative thinking. I wanted to share something that Marcel spoke about and wrote about. Yeah, I don't know whether you read his article. So we can attach it as a homework as well. So the research. The international context that you have and how these P4C methodologies can help teachers explore some really big questions and these complicated moral dilemmas and questions they face, trying to, again, like to have actually an inquiry, an open inquiry, without without some strict obligations and the right answers again. So you can see, yeah, the quote by Marcel. Marcel, do you wanted to add this? So just shortly.
Yes, well, to connect maybe the question in the previous slide. So why would we want to philosophize with children in the first place? To connect that question a little bit to international education, and you are all international educators, pre-service teachers, so you know the arena, you know international schools from within, and you also know what kinds of topics are being taught over there, and what kind of contexts teachers and children operate within. So in the research that Caroline and I have done back in 2017, we wanted to know to what extent cohorts of then ITED's students, and maybe you have participated in this survey yourself, could very well be, to what extent they thought that philosophy would be a good vehicle for discussing such big questions. And we know that children in international schools, especially because they have very different backgrounds, sometimes they have very complicated backgrounds, with parents coming from different countries, which feeds into their identity, and sometimes that gives identity problems and identification problems, problems of questions such as where do I belong, how do I fit in, especially when children move from one context to another context. So it's very natural for children in international schools to be puzzled about these big questions. And so that is on the one hand the reason why international schools could be perfect sites for philosophy with children. And it also happens in international schools, not so much yet, strangely enough, but maybe it's coming. And also, of course, international schools have missions and visions. They want to educate global citizens. Go to any random website of an international school, and in the vision and mission, you would see things such as, we want to educate internationally minded students. We want to educate students that have an eye for the world, that feel responsibility for the world.
Yeah.
And the question, of course, is
like, what is it like to to be a global citizen? And again, like sometimes you can. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Like something that is obviously positive, you always have to stop and think a bit. Maybe there is something that has a problem, and there is a kind of negative or dark side, and you have to be aware of it as well. Yeah, and or like be again like aware of your solidarity, yeah, with this idea, and then yeah, it's really yours. Yeah. Not just because you found yourself at school at this specific place. So I will share a little bit like the foundations that like the three main things about P4C. The first thing, of course, that's about developing thinking and metacognition skills, argumentation skills, and this combination of critical and creative, like this ability to think deeper, broader, and like outside the box. Especially for young learners, it's very important to formulate the ideas as clearly and accurately as possible, and be be ready to always to answer the question why. Yeah, like you may remember this from Pinocchio, the Walt Disney cartoon. He was asking like, why? Why? All the time, and it's a nice image of that. Develop the ability to ask their own big questions, yeah, and explore hypotheses. And we all find ourselves in this like huge flow of information, and we all need to practice it regularly, how to, again, like to structure this information, where we are able to trust it or not, how can we evaluate it, and like that's always a challenge, and you can start practicing it as early as like possible. It really helps. So that's the first dimension. The second, that is something that is actually already embedded in inquiry based learning. And that is something important in P4C as well. This group work, and that we collaborate, work in a dialogue, and that this listening to the others and active listening helps you perceive criticism differently. Like thanks to others, thanks to their questions and criticism, I know more about myself as well. I know more about the topic, and I appreciate this criticism. I really become stronger and like smarter, yeah, thanks to it, and know myself better. And that's like the emphasis of this collaboration in P4C, that we try to be flexible, not just to be flexible, but to be open and hear others and revise our own position in the light of new arguments that we hear. And the third, the third foundation, that's all about values, so that we can have this dialogue, serious and like respectful on very hot and complicated topics. And we try to get away from moralizing, from again, like giving answers and saying what is right and what is wrong without reflection. And actually, I think it's always like a core process, not only what children do, but what facilitators, practitioners do, and parents do when they use this approach as well. We identify our values. It's like the first step. Yeah, we see them, we are aware, we can conceptualize them. We know, we try to learn why are they important. Not just that I have it, yeah, that's something, a part of my identity, but why is that so? Yeah, why it's so important. So we work a lot with hierarchies when like with pictures, with concepts, with stories. We will try to practice it as well when we'll talk specifically on different tools that you can use in the classroom. And we do it with values when we try to think of like what is more important, why you want to change it, and doing it in a dialogue as well, to think on that. So that's all about like knowing what you are ready to stand for. I really like this like formula. And it also, when you initiate it in your classroom, that is something that can go on like in the halls with other teachers, in their families as well, especially when parents know what you do and why you do that. It can be the beginning of this like equal dialogue with children at home as well. So I value it. If you have any comments, questions so far, you can, Marcel.
Just a little time warning. We discussed in the preparation that I would warn you if there would be a time issue. So we have some 10 minutes left for the first 30 minutes, okay?
Okay. Yeah, so if you want to comment or to write questions, so please do it in our chat right now, and I will try to speed on as well. So that's a kind of, I guess, my view that I would really like to share with you. What is the core philosophical practice? That is balancing critical and creative thinking. Yeah, we do not train critical thinking in the sake of being critical only and using logic, and only creative, like be able to think outside the box, generate hypotheses, and like that's it. So I would rather show you, yeah, the second slide. So it's a kind of a poster. Yeah, I try to visualize, yeah, this idea. Actually, the name, yeah, the title of the poster can be philosophy with children or practical philosophy in general. So would you like to try to read it yourself? Yeah, to give a comment, or to make or me to explain it? What would you prefer? Try to read it or to hear my comment?
To me, it looks quite difficult, but I would like to try to make sense of it a little bit before hearing what it actually means.
Shall we give you a minute or two just to
Yes,
have a look at what is written up here, and then you can make some notes or write down some questions, and then hand over back to Anastasia again? Is that an idea?
Yeah, let's do it like that.
I'll be the timekeeper, so 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, we can about continue again. You're muted, Anastasia.
I know I lost my microphone. All right, so are you ready to share like the first thoughts? What, Nina?
yeah. Well, when you look at the whole thing, it kind of looked like a face, which I thought was funny. Maybe maybe it can all work together and form a face. No, when it was, yeah, there's a lot on there, talking about evaluating ideas and generating ideas, which I think might mean looking at what is already out there and seeing and using critical thinking skills to see the value of that, and then maybe the generating new ideas is from that point of view, using your creative thinking to go outside of the box and see if you can come up with something completely new that people might not have thought of yet, or the combination between. And then you have, of course, the balance between logic and imagination, maybe.
Okay. Carmen and Nastaran, does it make sense for you what Nina said? Is it clear? Partly.
Yeah, partly. One of the bigger question marks that I had when looking at this was the choice. What does that mean in this situation, the choice? Is that how the children act on their ideas that they've generated, or which path they choose. Do they choose the critical, logical side, or do they choose the imaginative side? That's part of the question marks that popped in my head.
Okay. I see. Nastaran?
I have no idea. I'm with Carmen, but not really.
So you were thinking about choice, wondering about choice as well. Yeah? Okay, so I used this poster also, especially before our meeting, with teens who work a lot, yeah, with me, and it was easier for them to read the poster. And I can share like something like general what I wanted to share and what they came up with. Yeah, so you can trust them, they know the practice. So I was trying to show the scales, kind of the image of scales, the idea of balance. So yeah, here, like this old kind of scales. So that's the center part. And they also saw not only the scales, but a kind of like we have two hemispheres, like in our brain. And actually, it's something from neurobiology that we all know, that one hemisphere is more about logic, yeah, and the other is more about creativity, imagination, and yeah, so this field. And so when we practice philosophy, we can, I noticed that you suggested a circle, but actually we read it like, like this, yeah, from this side. So we usually start with wonder. Yeah, we stop and something that was obvious is not obvious anymore. Yeah, so we are not ready to accept it as just obvious. Yeah, we stop and think. That's why you can see the starting point is wonder and doubt, and that's like so some say that it's Socrates' idea that wonder is the beginning of philosophy. Some maintain that it was Aristotle, yeah, who wrote it down. But you all heard, yeah, the idea that our thinking, yeah, any kind of knowledge we get starts with wonder and some kind of doubt. We are not sure at first. Yeah, so we try to stop and we generate some ideas, some hypotheses in order to evaluate them, in order to find which one is better. And after generating, we can evaluate ideas, and we can criticize them, find pros and contras. So use our logic in order to do that, and then we can choose. So that's why you can see this choice. It's like you can read it from the top to the bottom, and children read it also from the bottom to the top. So it can be the end of your thinking. Finally, you choose. And that's what we are going to practice today. Finally, you are ready. After thinking, you are ready to choose what you are ready to stand for. What's your answer? Yeah, like which hypothesis you trust. And it's also about practical dimension, that you face lots of choices in everyday life, yeah, and big choices as well. And you choose according to some values and some like statements in your worldview. Yeah, so it influences, affects your choice. So like both, yeah, meanings are both interpretations are important here. And they also told me one more thing, we need this practical philosophy. We need to develop our creative and critical thinking, because our life is like that. We face choices. Even though we have doubts about free will, we still experience our life as a life of choices. Yeah, and that's why not to be stuck, yeah, we need to be flexible and creative and try to look for solutions, yeah, not to give up. And at the same time, we can't take the first idea that comes up. We have to be able to use our critical thinking to to make really good choices. Yeah, and that's why we always try to combine these things to balance them. And here, like, practical philosophy is not abstract, that's really about life. So that's what, yeah, we try to like represent here. And you can see this looking for implications. It's in the middle because that is like part of work that we do regularly. So all these if thought experiments, when we try again to choose the idea or any value, we try to imagine what will happen if we choose only this one, or if we like erase this thing from the world. Yeah, what would the world be like then? So in order to imagine this possible world, and we use it a lot, yeah, in philosophy, we need creative thinking. But we imagine this world, yeah, these worlds, these possible implications, in order to be critical and to learn whether we go for it or we don't go for it, whether we are ready to face this world or we are not ready to face this world. That's why it's in the center.
Anastasia?
Yeah.
Another time warning. We're working for half an hour now, so I don't know about your timing and what other activities you still have in mind. Of course,
yeah, I think
prepared,
we will. So sorry. I think we won't need really like much time for reflection, as far as yeah, we have a small group. We'll have enough time, maybe like 15 minutes. So I think we'll try to be good.
Okay. Could I add something? Could I add something to what you say? Because
of course.
Could it be argued that philosophizing with children helps children to become better decision makers?
Yeah.
Hmm?
It does. So I would like you to like, let's try to do it quickly, but that is important, not just to accept it like I told you and then that's like that, and Marcel told it, not just if you really see again the implications. So
Nastaran has her hand raised.
Oh yeah, Nastaran, yep.
Yeah, but yeah, I had a question about this page actually. Before that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to be combined of both of them, but it's not possible to start with imagination and creative thinking and end it up with critical thinking and logic. Has to be both of them, you mean?
Yeah, I will. We are approaching it. I will show you this very clear structure, and I told you that we'll practice it. Yeah, we will start with generating ideas, and then yeah, choosing and arguing and yeah, making the last choice at the end. Yeah, we will do it. So maybe we can. Of course, you always can be creative, yeah, and change the steps according to your aim, yeah, to what you want.
Yeah, because normally children start with imagination, but at the end you have to end it up with logic parts. That's because sometimes they ask some really weird questions like where is God or what's the purpose of life, but it's imagination, and at the end you have to end it up with them in the logic part and critical thinking. You know that's why I'm a bit doubt about combining both together. I think.
I mean, that's it doesn't mean that you have to do it like at the same time.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I
start
would
with
rather,
imagination and then go deeper to.
yeah. That's something that you like have in mind as a general perspective, that you when you practice it, like even though it's one session, or if you practice it regularly, you keep it in mind. Maybe one session is like only about logic, and the other one is only about creativity because it's really difficult and we just try to think of as many as possible answers. But yeah, in general, you always try to balance them, that both thinking works.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I agree with your comments as well. Yeah, so what I wanted to like imagine with you, and it's again one of the typical like tools, practices, these what if questions. So in order to again, not to accept it, but to be sure you see it, you trust it, I would like you to imagine what happens because of this balance. So what if, and you can see the same picture of scales, but you here you see that critical thinking is in the center. We value it and like it's the main thing we want to practice, like turn on the critical thinking like that and forget about creativity, like imagination. Oh, that's not that important. What kind of outcomes would we face? What do you think? So if critical thinking is in the center.
Maybe that if critical thinking weighs more than creative thinking, you only reflect on ideas that are already there and you don't actually generate any new ideas. So it's just a repetitive cycle. Okay, this is what already is out there, and what do you not like about it, or what is wrong about it in your opinion, instead of trying to think of a creative way how it could be better, for example, maybe.
Yeah, that's one of the first things. Like you can be just stuck, or you can criticize absolutely everything, ruin, destroy all the values you have, and then you have nothing. And like, okay, so we can see problems and spot problems everywhere, and we can see this dark side. Yeah, we are high-level critics, and then what? Then how can you choose? And what if you really don't like any answers that I don't know, humanity have so far? Has so far. So what would you do? So do you see anything else?
Could I add something? I think you would lose perspective of what philosophizing with children, in this case, would be for, because the critical thinking should serve a higher purpose, as would the creative thinking together. So the combination of the two would serve a higher purpose in philosophical dialogues, namely helping the thinkers themselves to arrive at a deeper insight, or a better point of view, or a better substantiated point of view, or a better way of thinking about a particular issue. And if you would focus on critical thinking only, you would indeed end up in some nihilist situation where nothing stands anymore, nothing is important anymore, and that would also kill the joy to think. So it would even dismiss of the whole situation of a philosophical inquiry in itself, but maybe also education. Why would children want to go to school anyway if you would only go there to just criticize ideas and demolish ideas? So there should be a higher purpose, and critical thinking in itself is more a tool than an end, I think, as is creative thinking. So being creative all the time is also not very good.
Yeah, we'll find it out over here. So Nina and Carmen, would you like to add anything here, or we can move on and look at what if we train only creative thinking? What would we have then?
And Nastaran too, of course.
Yeah, I asked Nina and Nastaran. Yeah,
I think I don't really have anything to add. I think.
Okay, sorry, you talked at the same time. Yeah, Nina, could you repeat? Yeah.
Well, I just said that I don't think I have anything to add.
All right. Okay. And Nastaran?
I say the same.
All right. Okay, thank you. In my younger children's group, I ask them like, ask me next step, please. Yeah. Okay, here you can see that, yeah, we value creative thinking and like self-representation and this all kind of creativity, yeah, we can express and train, but critical thinking, like not that much. We do not pay attention, do not pay much attention to it. So what will be the outcome here?
It would be only imagination and not reality, actually, just what they think and what they feel, or but not really deep, that we cannot reach to logic part, and they will stay just in imagination, and they cannot get their answer that they have to get.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also think that the new ideas that are generated could be flawed the same as the older already existing ideas. So because you don't actually think about, hey, what's already out there and why doesn't it work, or why don't you think it works, you can have those same flaws in your new ideas without being aware of them because you haven't actually thought of them.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think if you only focus on creative thinking, you will you will go away from the actual practical side, and you will more live in this idealistic world where maybe everything's possible while there are so many other factors that need to be taken into account, that need this critical thinking to be able to get to these pitfalls that Carmen just talked about.
Yeah, and to choose, actually, you cannot enter the third step at all.
No.
Like you have these multiple choices, and like, oh, so what can I do then? Like too many. And I also noticed, so like I observed a lot of sessions of like other practitioners, and you, of course, each of us has its own attitude and like emphasis, yeah, something that they put in the center. And when I observe, I actually observed this, yeah, when we value only critical thinking, and yeah, absolutely, we had what you said. And when creativity was in the center, it was when creativity is in the center, we don't actually have a real dialogue. Yeah, each kid wants to express himself or herself, and to feel that, oh, I'm so creative, I'm so great. Yeah, I can suggest something new, and that's it. And they don't need to listen to each other, yeah, because like just generate. So I totally agree with what you said. Finally, yeah, we can have a look at this basic structure that I suggest you to use. I think it's very pliable. Of course, it's not the only one, but the one that we can start with. In relation with the scales as well. So the first part, step number one. You may start with a stimulus, or sometimes you can start with a question by yourself, like why not? As a separate exercise, or when you really want to discuss a specific topic, especially when you don't have maybe a separated P4C lesson, but it's embedded in some other disciplines. So, and you can use this mind mapping. Yeah, even the simplest way to mind map the question or the topic in the center and all the ideas that go around. Here it's just to mention, you can see the picture of a real book. You can order it, this Mind Maps journal. But that is something that I suggest children to use if they want. They can have their own philosophical notebook. And even very young children sometimes prefer to rewrite the mind map we are creating on a board or on, I don't know, on an this Vatman paper if we work, if it's life work. And they write down the ideas as well and the question, or they try to draw or write down the discussion and then show it at the end or send it to the group. And sometimes they can write down more ideas that they have afterwards, or some questions then they bring to our next meetings. And like I have a 8 or 9-year-old boy who initiated a session about time, what is time and whether people invented time or it's something real. And then he ordered a free will session. I usually do it with teens, but he ordered it, so we have to work on it. Yeah, so they can do it, and that's really great when you appreciate their initiative and so provoke them to write down when it happens, not only when you meet. So generating ideas, the step number 1. Step number 2 is choosing. So when you have this mind map, you just write down the answers the way, or like children write them down the way they are, like from the very beginning. And there is a tradition of this plus minus question that's a bit more from, I don't know, French Oscars or Oscars Brenifier tradition, something that it seems to me that I got from him. Just he made me think of. So you try to forget about your answer and consider all the rest. And you practice this choosing all the time. You have to choose only one answer that you are ready to support. So you mark it with a plus. You choose one answer that you are ready to criticize, or you can name the problem or give a counter example with a minus, but only one. And you also, so the question mark is more optional, but it's better to use all the signs. So you mark one answer that you're not ready to go for or against, but you'd like the author or the others to give a comment what it means, or answer your specific question. So it can be like the next step. The first one is absolutely private, your own idea. Second, you consider all the rest answers you see and you are choosing, and already thinking. At first, again, like privately. So you can see this picture from Wonder Ponder, whatever you want, about choice and freedom. So it illustrates. So now step number 3, again, scales. Sorry, I really love them. So arguing, and that's where, when all the marks are on your mind map, you can start the dialogue itself. You can start discussing the answers that drew more attention. And usually we start with questions. We find the answer that got more questions, start with this one. Then we work with the minuses, so with the critical part, and usually we work with the best answers at the end. Those that receive more pluses. Then the step number 4, you can see it separately, but of course it's like your parallel work, listening to the others, that we always are active listeners, and that we talked about that, and that all the dialogue itself, the criticism, the questions we heard help us make our final choice and give a stronger answer at the end. So step number 5 is a kind of ticket to go. So after the discussion, after considering the answers we had, of course, we always have time limitations. So maybe we never can evaluate all the answers, but at least, I don't know, 3 of them. So we will work on. So you make your final choice. Maybe you will be even more confident in your initial answer, and now you know why. You know even better why. Maybe you learned that your argument was not clear, was not strong, but you can make it stronger now. Or maybe you have changed your mind thanks to other answers and criticism, and you have never thought about it, but now you can see it. and that's good too. When you do it in the classroom, and if you had a dilemma, like only like one side and the other, it's really great when children, especially like young children, I guess, are ready to change their side and say, now I was for, now I'm against, or I was against, now I'm for, and that is why. Thanks to that and that, I'm really ready to change my position, like physically, and explain why and what made or who made me think about that. I always thank them because when they do it, and it's really clear in their mind why they changed, the position, I tell them that that is a real practical philosophy. Thank you so much. That's it. That's the structure. So now we can practice. Like, do you need I don't know, a glass of water or something, like a minute of break before we start? Yes, no?
I personally don't, but I don't know about the
I
rest.
think everyone's prepared for 1.5 hours.
Okay. So this time, as far as I want you us to try the structure, we don't have a stimuli or any stimulus. I brought the question. So that's the question. Sorry. So you can see two answers. So the question, the topic was different. There were multiple answers, and I just didn't erase these two. We can work with them as well, as far as, like we still have not that many participants. So let them stay there, if you don't mind. So the first step, you can suggest an answer, and I can write the answer right in on the board.
Mm-hmm. It's a very tricky question, of course.
Of course.
It's a very hard one. Yeah.
And you always can ask for that's again actually up to you. You can ask each child to write down, I don't know, 2 main things in the universe, or like 3, and then like write down only one on the board. Like we worked with like the 3 main like character traits, or the 3 main capabilities of a human being, and you do not comment on this main. They use their own criteria when they write down the 3 of them, and then we work on it, and it's really like very deep and great and long work, actually. So let's try. We can start with 1.
I can't speak for the others, but I think we all need to think about this question first before we can give any response in the first place. So shall we do another 2.5, 3 minutes of thinking and writing? Yep. Must be a little bit concise due to the time. Do you want me to work with you as well?
Yes, surely.
Yeah? Okay.
I didn't show you the question.
No, you didn't.
That is why. I can do it right now.
Okay, time's up.
Okay, what should I write? What is the main thing in the universe? Marcel, you can answer first.
Yes, I was thinking along two lines. I was thinking along the lines of matter and mind. So material things and things that are being thought. But I was also thinking of a more physical way of looking at it, and then I thought, so what makes things in the universe come into existence? And that is the laws of attraction. So attraction, I think, is the word that I would like to use here. Think of atoms. They are attracted to each other chemically, and then they form, well, a bird, or they form a stone, or they form a planet, or they form a sunbeam.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. So the thing is that it again like depends on yeah, your choice. So you can give a short comment, yeah, from the very beginning, or you can just share the answer, and yeah, then we work on the arguments yeah, a bit later. So we can just
Sorry for
write
that.
down the answers right now.
I'm sorry.
You can, Marcel, so you can pass the microphone. So please name the name and ask the question.
Right, Nastaran, catch.
And you have to ask
What
the question.
is the main thing in the universe? I never thought I would ask you, but I am.
I thought that maybe the good word that I chose is possibility to life, maybe,
Okay.
but I'm not sure.
You may pass the mic to someone else and repeat the question.
And then it's a Carmen.
I don't know what.
And please repeat the question, Nastaran.
Okay, what is the main thing in the universe, Carmen?
Well, I actually have written down possibility as well. It's funny. Yes, but yeah. So I've written down three things. I'm not quite sure which one to choose from. Well, possibility is already there. I had uncertainty, or life just itself. That life is the main thing in the universe. I think I'm gonna go with life. Yeah.
All right.
Please pass on the mic.
Yeah. So Nina, what is the main thing in the universe?
I also wrote down possibilities as an option, so that's funny. And the second thing I wrote down is happiness. I think in the end, we all want to be happy, and that's what we're looking for. Fulfillment in work, personal life. Yeah, trying to find happiness within yourself.
Okay. So we have like 6 answers thanks to flexibility and originality that were there. So the next thing, you heard some comments, but yeah, still, you all can use the signs in Zoom. So you can mark the answer that you are ready to support. So you are not considering your own answer. So you choose from 5 answers, not yours. So you mark it with a tick. Yeah. You have to find one answer that you are ready to exclude, and you mark it with a cross. And you mark one answer with a question mark. You'd like to hear someone's comment, or you have a specific question about this answer. So please tell me if you all can use the tools, the signs in Zoom. Could you all do that by yourself?
I'm not sure.
I don't know where I should do that.
I can only give like a reaction, like a smiley, but not.
No, you all are able to comment the screen.
Where do we find that?
So do you see it on my screen right now, the toolbar?
No.
No, I don't think we can
No,
see that.
maybe we can write it in chat then. Then
No,
we have-
I
can
think
save
it's
time.
faster. Yeah, it's faster for you just to ask me to mark it. So usually it's possible. So it's when you have the microphone, the video, participants, like demonstration and comments. That's it's usually at the bottom, or sometimes when you move the mouse, it can appear at the top of the screen. So, but yeah, if I just thought that you all got used to this technical thing, it's not a problem. You can just tell me. Yeah, I can do it very quickly. So let's start with Nina. So which one should I mark? You're ready to support.
I'm ready to support attraction.
Okay, I can ask all of you as far as I have a tick, so you can unmute yourself and just tell me what you want me to mark with a tick. What are you ready to support? Carmen?
Possibility.
Okay, Marcel?
Also a possibility.
Okay, Nastaron?
So if I wanted to say attraction, then we have 2 and 2.
So we'll see. You can choose.
I chose attraction.
Okay.
So because possibility was mine, so then
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So now I change the sign. So which one are you ready to exclude?
Hang on, we haven't heard Nina yet.
Yes, I thought I went first.
Oh, really?
It was first. Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
Marks. Yeah.
I can also start with the excluding. I am ready to exclude originality.
Okay. So pass the microphone. You always can ask participants to ask each other.
Nastaran, I pass it on to you.
Happiness. No, Carmen. What do you want?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nina. But also happiness. I'd cross out happiness.
Okay. So Carmen, pass the microphone.
Oh, Marcel. Yeah.
I'd cross out life.
Okay. And question marks. So which one you'd like to ask about or to ask someone to comment?
And that cannot be one that you've already chosen, right? Or can it?
So yeah.
It could be.
So it's better to choose a different one.
Yeah.
So you can choose anything that you haven't chosen yet.
Okay, then I go for flexibility with a question mark, and then I pass the mic on to Nina.
I have the same flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
Carmen, I pass it on to you.
Yeah, flexibility. And Nastaran?
Same flexibility. So Nina has to answer or all hands?
I already did.
Okay. Yeah, so we have 4 question marks and flexibility. So here, so the first step, you generated some answers, there are some ideas. The second one, we had a closer look at the answers of the others and try to choose to mark them. So as far as I told you that we start with the questions, and unfortunately we don't have the author of flexibility. So you will have to try to explain it yourself, but maybe one of you has a specific question, like why this answer made you wonder. Why did you put a question mark there? What exactly is not clear?
Well, I would have the question that flexibility is very much at odds with the laws of attraction. So that's why I mentioned attraction. And that's also a question that I have about the flexibility as part of the nature of the main thing of the universe. If you argue that determinism is important in the universe, so cause and effect is important, then where does that leave flexibility? So that would be my question. And I pass the mic on to, should I?
Oh, 1 second. Nina, did you get what Marcel said?
Not really. Well, partly, I would say, but it's still like the whole term flexibility to me is quite unclear in this context. So that makes it hard to understand. Yeah, like I know, yeah.
So you just cannot connect it with the question. Yeah.
No. Yes, that's correct.
So, but let's check. Who could you give me a sign, like so you understand Marcel and you can help Nina and me understand Marcel, so
It's
that I
going
can.
to be very awkward.
So
no one understands me.
Let's check. Yeah. So do you understand Marcel? Does it make sense what he said? So if yes, you can show like that. So if you were puzzled, you can show like that, like, hey, Marcel, need help, I don't understand you. Okay, Carmen?
I partly, I think maybe if everything is already predetermined, then there is no option for any flexibility. Then there's just one path that you take, that everything takes in this universe. That's kind of what I got from it, partly, but not entirely.
That's what I meant, and that hence my question about flexibility.
What?
Okay.
Is it? But let check. I don't know my language skills right now. Can I put it down like, what if the world is deterministic? Is it possible to write it down like that?
Yeah, that word exists.
Okay. So that's what we ask here. Yeah. So how can we say that flexibility is the main thing in the universe if we believe that in this cause and effect system, and it's like everywhere, and we do not accept no room for flexibility then?
Anastasia, you miss one letter in one of the words. What if the world is?
Yeah, I see. Sorry, I think I can change it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
very flexible.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I always ask children to keep an eye on me when I type on the board. And then they guess that I'm not a robot if I make mistakes. Carmen and Nestoran, do you have any specific questions here? So we're not going to dive into this topic of determinism. It always can, any exercise or like any session can give you food for next meetings, separate discussions. So like you may say that, okay, that's really again like a great question. Like you can be ready to discuss it right away if you are ready, or you can hang it up and then you go back to it the next time you meet. So this time I suggest to hang it up. Now we understand the wonder of Marcel. That's what we have. Carmen and Nestoran, do you have a specific question here on flexibility?
Actually, for me, it was not really flexibility clear here, because I could put it in sub for the life, but not for the universe. That's why I don't know why flexibility is here for the main thing in universe. That's is not really clear for me.
Okay, but you mentioned the connection between the question was, what is the main thing in life? Flexibility could be
for me, I could do it like a sub question in life, but
so could you say why? I can draw a connection. That was your thought or your idea, but could you comment why?
Because in the universe, is the possibility of actually I can't connect all together, but is the life, but flexibility come with life, that how we life actually, that would be, that like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, flexibility could be it to the life that we live actually, but I don't know how to explain it.
Hey, we always can ask for help. That's why we have a group, and that's always wonderful to have a group. You can ask, so
I don't know who can help me.
Yeah, so who can help me? If you can. Okay, great, Nina. So
Because I also see the connection between life and flexibility. Because I think like in life, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't have a predetermined plan on this is what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow the sun is going to shine, or tomorrow it's going to rain, or any other things. You simply don't know what's going to happen. So you need to be able to be flexible to cope with life in general. If you plan on having a sunny day and you plan the whole day outside and it's pouring, you need to change your plans. You can still go outside, but then maybe your picnic is not as fun as you imagine it to be because you're soaked. So I think a certain amount of flexibility is needed in life to be able to live it.
To bear it.
Yeah.
Unexpected things.
Yeah.
All right. Nestor, do you like the answer? Do you like this argument?
Yeah, exactly. That's
Okay,
the thing what I want to say.
Yeah, you know, I can give a short, like, methodological comment here. When it's always, again, like, it's all right not to be able to answer this why, yeah, Pinocchio question all the time. That's absolutely normal, and especially for those children who are very, stressed to speak. Yeah. So it can be a tradition to not to give up, but to ask others for help. And the thing is that you can listen to, like, I know the time, Marcel.
Good.
That is important.
Yeah.
So you can always go back to the author who couldn't answer, and check if it's what he meant, if that was the intuition. And there is a kind of a structure as well, that you try three different answers. And sometimes the author thinks, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking of. And then, would you like to try another one? Oh yeah, I would. He listens to the to another one, and it's absolutely different, and then no, that's what I meant. So and you like, how is that so that you agreed with the first one, then you didn't listen, or like what happened? So that's about, like, metacognition. It can be very slow, but really something that is worth doing. Yeah, that's it. Or, like, listen to three different ideas and then choose and finally formulate your own. Yeah, thanks to others participants support. Okay, so let's try, as far as we are extremely short in time. So you saw we worked with questions a bit. Let's have a look at your crosses. So you decided to exclude happiness. So Nina was the author, right? So you can ask your colleagues to explain why. Why don't they like your answer?
Yeah, I am curious. And I don't think it's about liking, but maybe about seeing a connection.
Yeah, of course.
I am curious, though.
So whose crosses are they?
I think they're Karma and Carmen and Nasara.
Okay, so ask, who would you like to hear first?
Karma.
Yeah. So when I think of the universe, I think something beyond mankind and beyond humans, and I feel like happiness is is linked to mankind. It's a feeling that I think is reserved for humans only, because we can experience happiness. So that's why, and I think the universe goes beyond us humans. Yeah. So that's why I excluded it from this one.
The same. I also have the same idea. It's not really relate to universe for me as well. It's also can be connect to life.
Okay, so like
But,
this is human-centered, yeah?
Yeah, that's really to universe, yeah.
Nina, does it make sense what they say, the criticism?
Yes, in some way it does. Yeah, of course it is linked to human life. But then again, so is possibility maybe. No, that's not true. In nature, you also have, well, yeah. Now I'm starting to wonder, like, how is possibility, what can possibility mean when it's not related to humans? Because I agree that happiness is also the same as flexibility connected to life, and maybe not as much to the universe. But I also think it depends on what you believe. When Carmen mentioned the force that's maybe greater than human beings, it also depends what you believe for that, and if that should be connected to happiness, or what, like, I don't know the words to what I want to say. I have an idea of mine, but I don't really know how to explain it.
Could you their comments there, their criticism that your answer was very rather human-centered, and when we speak about the universe, it is rather broader, and we can even think about like new life in the universe, maybe. Yeah, so we haven't discussed it yet. You can also say what it made you think of, what it made you wonder. So you are in the process of reflecting, in the process of thinking right now. So you are looking at possibility that you marked as a good answer. So could you summarize? So what's the question that you have right now?
My question is, how is possibility related to the universe in a non-human way? Is that good English?
Yeah. Okay, so I will make it a little bit smaller.
We have 2 minutes left.
That's fantastic. So yeah, the only thing I can ask you, like, what do you think about that? Tell me, please. So today it's like the holiday week at school, and I'm not running to my next lesson. So are you ready to take like at least 10 minutes more? So that we can do it today, and we were waiting at the beginning. So what do you think?
For me, that's fine.
Marcel, that's not fine, it seems to be.
No, I have the family down with dinner at the moment.
Okay, so look,
what if I come back after that?
Okay, I like in how many minutes?
I don't know. Half an hour.
So I think we can what we can do right now. So Marcel, if you need to go, is it possible for you to go on with the record? Yeah, we still don't. Yeah, Fayan hasn't come. Yeah, so I was trying to check if no one entered.
No.
So
that's fine.
Yeah. Maybe you can take your phone, and when we finish, I will write you a message so that you can come back and stop the record.
I will.
Okay.
Yes, I won't be long. I won't be long.
Okay, and we'll so it depends on you. So I'm ready to be with you until we finish the plan. Okay,
and we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch anyway. But the only thing I wanted to say at this point is so much for my flexibility at the moment. So that has nothing to do with the universe, not with my universe at the moment. No, but I'll be back in not very long, I'm sure. Okay.
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 So see you.
So we can mute Marcel. Oh no, we can't. Yeah, he's the host. So we where were we? At the question, yeah. So we hand up the question by Nina, yeah. And so we try to work, yeah, shortly, yeah, with the crosses. Then we can try your ticks, yeah. So we have 2 for possibility and 2 for attraction. We had a little comment by Marcel at the very beginning. So I guess you all wanted, that's fantastic when we have like a gigantic question and then we have the answers that are similar. You were not discussing, but you thought about the same thing. Let's hear what you think here. So Nastaran, it was your answer, and usually it's a kind of tradition as well that we start with the others first, and the author is able to hear what others read and think, and then you can finalize. You can be the last one to share what was the idea, yeah, the original idea. So who would you like to hear first, Nina or Carmen?
Nina can go first.
Okay.
If she wants, yeah.
I did put a tick at attraction. So.
But you were thinking about possibility as well. Is that right?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so you explain.
Yeah. What I thought when I think of the word possibility in relations to the universe is that maybe the universe can create possibilities for you, or for everything, basically. Like it's some sort of host for things as nature, but also as people and things. And without the universe, there wouldn't be possibilities. That's kind of the way that I was going. But now I have this new question, like how is possibilities related to the universe in a non-human way? And now I'm kind of, more thinking about that. I don't know why
But what I hear is like you ask, is it possible to think universe without like possibilities?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot think of the universe as something that like does not create or
no, the universe is full of opportunities. Wherever you look or whatever you want, there are possibilities, and the universe is making that possible for there to be possibilities.
Mm-hmm. It's like something necessary. Yeah. Okay. Carmen, what made you laugh?
Just the fact that it's a cycle, right? The one exists because of the other, and that's the thing that popped in my head right now. That made sense. Like, oh yeah, yeah, I had to laugh because of that.
But the thing is that I discovered right now that we cannot think of universe without possibilities. So I would also refer to Marcel's question about determinism. So in this absolutely deterministic universe, do we have possibilities there? What do you think? Does this concept still work in the deterministic universe?
I think it's less. I think it's still, well, if everything would be predetermined, there are only like set possibilities, I think. Maybe there are different ways to get to the same ending, but then again, these ways would also be set if everything would be predetermined.
Okay.
So I think it would be less possible, but still somehow
There
possible.
is something rather than nothing. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So Carmen, what was your argument?
If the world is determined and if then possibilities still exist, is that
No.
what I should answer?
Why did you choose possibility?
Well, it's basically what Nina already said. I thought that really encapsulated like the main essence of what I thought too. That yeah, basically that there wouldn't be, possibilities if the universe just wasn't there. Yeah, I think that sums up pretty much how I thought about it.
Okay. So Nastaran, what was your original idea? Why did you choose possibilities? possibility?
For the possibility, because I thought that the universe in the universe there would be everything is like such a life also is possibility of the universe that you live, and that's the everything that possibility give you have in universe. That's why I thought that what is the main actually things in universe is possibility. I think all of them
Embraces everything. Yeah. That's actually I don't remember whether we came up with this when at the first meeting, but some refer it to Hegel, that he and some to Heidegger again, like they repeat the idea somehow, like that the most philosophical question is the world is why is there anything, or like anything, like something rather than nothing. Yeah, so it's really like we wonder, and that is a miracle in itself. Okay, yeah. So the last round, you have a star mark as well in Zoom. It's very useful tools. So now at the end of the discussion, you can choose one answer, and then now it can be your answer as well, or any other answer with a star. So after the discussion, like, what do you finally go for? Yeah, so which one is really the best one? We haven't discussed attraction, yeah, so that's a disadvantage, yeah, because you have 2 ticks as well, but yeah, we can't do it right now. But yeah, when you try to hear for here and for there, yeah, maybe it would be like more interesting to choose which one finally. But still, so Nina, yeah, which one should I mark with a star? And you can give a very short comment. Yeah.
For me, it would be possibility, because I think it's such a broad concept, and as we just discussed, that there is no universe without possibilities, and there are no possibilities without the universe.
Okay. Carmen, your star?
Mine would also go to possibility, because I think that even with attraction, it's possibility that makes it a thing. I think that makes it real, that makes it a possibility. Yeah.
The processes of development. Yeah.
Yeah. So you could choose from flexibility in life, but I think that to the core, it boils down to the possibility of having flexibility, the possibility of being happy. I think, yeah, the star for me would be the possibility.
Okay, and Nastaran?
It doesn't have to be my answer.
This time it can be any answer, and yours as well. So at the end,
I'm still in possibility. Yeah. Yeah, because I also say that without universe give you the possibility actually for all of them.
So that's what we discussed. Okay, you see that if we had more time, maybe it would be more complicated for you to choose. But Carmen explained, even though attraction is a strong concept and very interesting idea, we may think of arguments. Attraction is possible thanks to possibility. Like, I'm sorry for tautology. So Marcel, you are incredibly quick. So we worked with ticks, and we worked only with possibility as far as we have to finish. And you can see stars, they all went to possibility, and we heard the arguments, like why it is even stronger than attraction.
I'm so glad that no one chose for flexibility.
Yeah, no one. So yeah, I usually take a picture of the mind map, or I can hide us, and like send it to the group for those who don't write things during the session.
Okay, since I'm now just back, I think we at some point need to wrap it up.
Yes.
And also ask our kind participants for some feedback on how they think it went today and what they thought of it. And then we need to share some logistics, some further logistics with you.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, that's the practical part. I will ask you, I guess I will ask you to fill in. So Marcel, did I get it right? So you'll see it in your, I will send it right now to our chat. It's a very short Google form with open lines. You'll see 3 questions there. You can answer them, like if you're ready right now. It would be great if you write it down, like for us and for you, for yourself as well. So the first is like something you can take away, something specific. So could you name, let's start, you can see in the Google form, I ask you to write 3 different things. Again, like choose the main one and answer how you are going to apply it maybe right away. And then you can also, the last line, you can ask a question. Yeah, and then we can answer it at the meeting, or I can answer you personally via email. So could you name one thing, one important thing that you got from our meeting today? And if you already see the way you can use it, you can share, and that would be great.
You want Nina and Carmen and Nastran to do this now in spoken or written down?
So written down, I think you can do it after, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
later,
Right.
yep.
Right. So a takeaway from
one
today.
takeaway and how you are going to apply it.
And that can be theoretical and practical, right?
Yes, anything.
Well,
it
the
could
thing,
be a feeling even.
feeling.
Feeling even, yeah.
Well, when looking at the theoretical side, the thing that stuck to me most was the importance of balance between creative thinking and critical thinking. And like the actual importance of it being a balance, that otherwise you can shift into not being creative at all, or just keeping it in some sort of imaginary world where you don't come to something concrete at all. And yeah, that's the main thing that that stuck to me.
Sorry.
Can I take over, or is it?
Yeah, please go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So mainly I learned a new didactical method, I guess, or a didactical approach to discussing ideas, theories, or dilemmas. And that's the 5-step thing that we did. And we also practiced that. And that's what I really, really enjoyed and thought was very good to have that being practiced by us, right? So that really made sure, okay, do I get it? And how does it actually apply in practice? And also it made me wonder, that there could be different takes on a dilemma. So for example, for the universe, what I gathered through our discussions is that we're thinking of different kinds of universe. So for example, if we look at happiness, well, that's the universe. For example, if you're a little kid, that's just the universe that you live in, right? They don't think outside with all the different planets or even beyond that. So there could be different perspectives on the questions. Yeah.
For me also was the same as what Carmen said, that the theoretical part and then how to apply it actually and how to make the discussion. And also I like for the complement part, I really liked the discussion, and we went deeper to think a little bit more deep to talk about the universe. And also I got some idea how to apply it maybe in my classroom. Maybe it's a little bit to say it soon, but I got some idea how can I apply it in future, because for the first part, when you talk about the balance between critical and creativity, then now I got how we can do it maybe in balance, do it together. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
So could you write one word in our chat right now? It should be a noun and it can be whatever you want. That's for our homework. I show you the slide of homework and then we all can be free for today. So one word, anything, material, non-material, able to like touchable or not touchable, whatever. Complicated, simple.
Are you joining too?
Me?
Yeah.
No, but you are joining.
Okay.
But like, I'm sorry, I don't think
Just one noun, anything that comes
to
to
random noun.
Yes, absolutely.
I can only think of adjectives.
Turn it into a noun. So you see some, okay. One more. Okay. I don't know what you are going to do with that, but it's a thing that a kind of playful thing you can use with children as well. And when they are stuck as well, and just for like for practice. So what to do after? I will just share like that. So we'll send you the articles. So I highly recommend you to read the overview article. I like try to put shortly everything into one, and you may have some nice questions important questions after it. And Marcel's on research, on your context, of international schools. So I ask you to fill in the form. It won't take you long, but you pin your takeaway, and it's something important for us as well. Then the exercise, we are going to work on questioning and then more on logic and argumentation later. So your home task, you have to put I will send you the words of like you change them. So you wrote for your colleague. So why is depth, or why is a flower, or like flowers, why are flowers the main thing in the universe? And you try to come up with 3 possible arguments. And you really have to challenge your creative thinking in order to come up with arguments. And then that's nice that you mentioned our universes are different. Maybe you will have to take a perspective of an ant in order to write down these 3 arguments. So it could be really, so make fun of it. And the last thing, it's a short TED talk by Roger Sutcliffe. He was at the beginning of this separate organization creation, and now like dialogue works and things like that. So no philosophy, no humanity. That's a bit more about practice and about values. So that's what I want to share with you. I guess that's it. And so the link, this PayPal link, I'm finally officially registered. So we will send you the presentation with the homework, with the resources, and the payment link. So after the session. So thank you for coming.
One quick question about the homework assignment. We have to find arguments for the nouns that we just sent, as if that being the...
Yeah, I am going to write it for you. So you may remember, like, so Flower by Nina goes to Nastaran. So Flower is for you. Book goes to Marcel. Depth goes to Carmen. And Plane goes to Nina.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't give me the plane.
Thank you. Okay.
Carmen can be happy with the most philosophical concept.
I'll think of something. I will make it work.
Yeah, Flower is really great. So
okay,
think of the perspective you're going to take. Yeah.
Anastasia, shall I stop the recording now?
Yes.